Hello everyone, my name is Victoria Woods and I am a junior here at Brenau University and also on the cross country and track and field team. And today I'm talking about roadway safety for athletes. But before, I would like to tell a little story. On January 23rd, 2025, I was going for a jog right here in downtown Gainesville, and as I approached the crosswalk to Washington Street, I looked both left and right and made sure I had the signal to cross. But before I could make it very far, I was suddenly struck by a public transportation van. Luckily, I made it out of the situation completely unharmed, but this story could have ended much differently. In two separate studies conducted by the Pasanchi Law Firm and the Insurance Institute for Highway Safety, each year 122,000 runners and 49,000 cyclists are injured in motor vehicle accidents. Of these athletes, approximately 5,300 runners and 1,100 cyclists will lose their lives. Over the past decade, it has become increasingly dangerous for athletes to exercise on the roads. The Governor Highway Safety Association states that pedestrian deaths caused by motor vehicle accidents have increased by 48% since 2014. Each of these deaths are preventable, and there are several things both those in cars and on their feet can do to prevent them. In this speech, I will be covering how not only drivers but also athletes can prevent lethal accidents and make an overall improvement to roadway safety. In a world driven by technology, it is easier than ever for drivers to become distracted. As many of us know, phones are one of the biggest distractions for drivers. However, there is a new rising threat called in-car touchscreens. Drivers these days are leaning more towards modern vehicles with the most up-to-date technology such as Apple CarPlay, BMW's iDrive, and Tesla's integrated systems. These infotainment screens tend to be very complex. Rather than the simple buttons and controls in older models, there are multiple screens with potentially hundreds of icons for drivers to have to navigate through. In a study conducted by the AAA, they found that drivers who use these in-car navigation systems can be distracted for approximately 40 seconds. While this may not seem like a long period of time, a driver driving at 45 miles per hour for 40 seconds can cover 880 yards, which is about 9 football fields in length. This is extremely dangerous, not only for those driving the car, but of course the pedestrians on the streets. Along with this, there are currently no set regulations for in-car screens, meaning that many manufacturers are installing applications that have no real benefit to drivers, and as a matter of fact are more likely to distract the driver than anything, such as social media platforms, text messaging apps, even video games. Technology like in-car screens is designed to improve the lives of the users. I am in no way discouraging to get rid of modern technology in cars, but rather encourage drivers to be mindful of their usage. If your in-car screen supports voice-enabled features, use that rather than touching the screen itself. Disable any unnecessary features, and if you have a passenger in a car, ask if they will complete any necessary touchscreen activities. Limiting distractions and keeping your eyes on the road is an essential aspect of roadway safety. Along with this, it is important to remain vigilant while driving. While pedestrians are supposed to follow common roadway laws, there is no way to ensure that they will. Being aware of one's surroundings at all times could save the thousands of lives. This can include simply checking your mirrors and ensuring you are looking at all crosswalks. Specifically here in Gainesville, Georgia, there are many four-way crosswalks. Don't just look at the crosswalk directly in front of you, but rather all 4 crosswalks. Try and predict where a pedestrian will go next. It is important to remember that pedestrians always have the right of way, no matter how annoying it may be. If, as a driver, you must do your part to keep roads a safe place for athletes. Now, I would be remiss if I put all of the blame on drivers. As athletes, we are partially responsible for our own safety. If you remember my story for earlier, I would like to point out what I did wrong. My first mistake was what I decided to wear that day. I was wearing a black shirt and gray shorts, and while this may seem like a very normal athlete or outfit, for those driving a tall public transportation van, I was very difficult to see. This is why it is important for athletes to wear high visibility clothing made out of bright colors and reflective materials. High visibility clothing attracts the attention of drivers, especially those in taller vehicles. Along with this, roadway athletes should always support necessary safety equipment such as flashers and helmets, which are especially essential to cyclists. Another important accessory for roadway athletes to wear is GPS tracking devices, such as a smartwatch. Fitness watches such as the Apple Series 8 and Garmin watches have fall and crash detection, which will, in the case of an emergency, call emergency services, and alert your emergency contacts. These watches can help save the lives of athletes in the unfortunate occurrence of a motor vehicle accident. My second mistake was limiting my senses by wearing over-ear headphones. Similar to drivers staying attentive, roadway athletes must be watchful and alert when they are exercising. A key aspect of this is ensuring that you can hear your surroundings, meaning only wearing one or no headphones at all. Personally, I've been surprised on several occasions by how little I can hear when I am wearing my headphones. This includes not hearing the passing of cars or footsteps that are right behind me. Finally, roadway athletes should always follow common roadway laws. Exercise on sidewalks or bicycle lanes when possible. Always use crosswalks when available. Ensure you have the signal to cross. If you don't have a crosswalk, make sure you look both left and right. It is unrealistic and unfair to put all of the roadway safety responsibilities solely on those driving cars. Roadway athletes must stay vigilant during their exercise and take necessary precautions. At the end of the day, I'm glad I was hit by the car. Truth be told, prior to my accident, I was not an attentive athlete or driver. I took part in many of the things I just spoke against. However, getting hit by the car and the safety of a crosswalk opened my eyes to the dangers of exercising on the road. I'm here today to encourage everyone, both drivers and athletes, to be attentive. Notice your surroundings. Avoid all possible distractions and make sure you are visible. Everyone must take responsibility in order to make the roads a safer place for all pedestrians and drivers. That being said, put on your high visibility vest, remove your headphones, and of course, look both left and right before crossing the street. Go on a jog and enjoy the safety of our roads. Thank you.